Good evening and welcome to Trending Tonight. I'm Sanket Upadhyay. We all have heard the very tragic news of Pranab Mukherjee, Citizen Mukherjee, passing away, dying. But we have a very important discussion up ahead. See, you have to understand what Indian politics has lost. Let's quickly put that on screen. Pranab, the master manager. Pranab, the master manager. Pranab, also the super consensus builder. He had these two great qualities for which he is going to be remembered. He was Indian politics' social glue. Please realize, on many occasions, he had got warring factions together. So the logical question that we want to ask on a day like today, and I feel that this is really opportune, is India's politics in dire need of a Pranab Mukherjee? That's the question we are going to ask of all our guests. Joining us right now, we want to begin by requesting a statement or a word from the Lok Sabha Speaker, Mr. Om Birla. ओम बिरला जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत एनडीटीवी में। सबसे पहले तो मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूं आपके थॉट्स, क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप? बेहद दुखद।
भारत रत्न पूर्व राष्ट्रपति जी का निधन हम सबके लिए, हम सबको कहीं ना कहीं पीड़ा और दुख व्यक्त करता है। एक 50 वर्षों से अधिक उनका संसदीय जीवन में लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को सशक्त बनाने में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रही है। उन्होंने अपने संसदीय जीवन में व्यक्तिगत संबंधों में राजनीतिक जुड़ाव को उन्होंने कभी बाधा नहीं बनने दिया और इसी व्यक्ति की खूबी के कारण जटिल से जटिल विषय पर भी वह राजनीतिक सम्मति बनाने में सफल होते थे। एक संसदीय कार्य के अंदर एक कुशल नेतृत्वकर्ता के रूप में सरकार की नीतियों के निर्धारण में उनकी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रही और दल से ऊपर उठकर वो सभी राजनीतिक दलों के हमेशा प्रिय रहे और दल से ऊपर कई देश के मसलों पर उन्होंने आपसी सहमति बनाने में बहुत बड़ा योगदान किया। संसद में भी उनकी वाक्पटुता, उनकी निर्णय करने की क्षमता अद्भुत थी। मैं भारत रत्न के समय उनसे मिला था, उनके बाद उनके घर पर जाकर मिला। उनका 50 वर्षों का एक लंबा अनुभव, संसदीय अनुभव निश्चित रूप से हम सबको मार्गदर्शन करता था। संसद के अंदर उनके हर विषय पर वाक्पटुता के साथ एक अपनी बात को कहना, सरकार में रहते हुए सरकार की नीतियों को ठीक से रखना और जिस तरीके की फाइनेंशियली वित्त मंत्री रहते हुए उन्होंने वित्त नीतियों को समावेश करने का काम किया, वो संसदीय इतिहास में हमेशा याद रहेगा। उनका संसदीय जीवन हर माननीय सांसद को हमेशा मार्गदर्शन देता रहेगा।
जी ओम बिरला जी, एनडीटीवी से बात करने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। ये जो आपने श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित की है, मेरे ख्याल से ईच एंड एवरी पर्सन carries that same sentiment for the personality called Pranab Mukherjee. If you note what Om Birla said, he used the words in Hindi, which will loosely translate in English as someone who had universal appeal. He was a consensus builder. And I guess, and that's the question that we want to ask of our guests this evening, is India's politics in dire need of a Pranab Mukherjee? That political social glue. Is that what we are missing in Indian politics? Let me quickly welcome our guests. We have with us first Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress Party. In just a short moment, we'll be going across live to Sudhindra Kulkarni, author and columnist, and Veer Sanghvi, senior journalist, is also with us. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Dr. Singhvi, let's begin with you. We've heard what you had to say, your tributes for President Mukherjee, Citizen Mukherjee. I want to ask you, don't you think that in today's day and age, the deeply divided nature of Indian politics, we need a Pranab-like factor?
You couldn't be more right. You couldn't be more right. The essence of parliamentary democracy is precisely what you don't get in the Bangladesh Central Hall, in the Pakistan Central Hall, in most of our neighboring South Asian states, is that genuine camaraderie cutting across party lines and trust. Trust is the crucial word. Pranab Da, at the end of it, was a person who liked to deal with issues, not only personalities, and on merits. And because he dealt with issues on merits and on issue-based approach, he was not political, so that you would not start distrusting it merely because your political color was different. He had an acute political sense, no doubt about it. But because he would give you a straight answer on merits, I think people across party lines trusted him. Whenever there was a problem, there are frequently problems within the party. So intra-party issues, interministerial issues, why do you think this Guinness Book of Records of almost 100 GOMs and EGOMs? Because of interministerial turf wars. And he would bring his wise counsel and his remarkable institutional memory to solve it. And at the end of the day, if somebody was being unreasonable or perverse, he could also solve it by a terse, you don't know, you don't understand, this is not the law, this is not the position, this is not the precedent, I know it, and things would end. Because people trusted him that he was not trying to be manipulative. And I think that's a rare quality. And then, of course, across party lines, this is only intra-Congress I'm saying, ministerial, but across party lines, he was the quintessential consensus forger. And I think it came from his very deep continuity, his sense of history, his recall of precedent. I used to tell him frequently that he was the second person I was introduced to when I joined politics. The first was Madhavrao Scindia, and the first took me to the second. And I frequently told him, I said, politics is a great game because they have it, they have you. But constitutional law as a scholar is a great loss. You'd have been a great scholar there. Law profession is a great loss. You'd have been a great lawyer, researcher. He was a continuously inquisitive man who wanted this great thirst for, I don't know, I used to ask him, I said, do you have any idea of relaxation? His constants were the walk in the morning, the puja, the diary at the night without which he would not go to sleep, and his 8 to 12 sitting on that chair, meeting people, clearing files. But he would deal with issues, books, material, knowledge, and no films, no socializing, no other forms of... and he said that he just felt that this is what consumed him. This is passion. So he became a remarkable man. And I've yet to come across... I became an MP, a third-term MP, this time from West Bengal. And I remember late last year I went to him for what was intended to be just a short meeting. For 90 minutes, he just regaled me from 1962 onwards with facts, figures, MLA numbers, the evolutionary graph of West Bengal assembly politics, forget national. And he could recall figures, facts, and he had this great continuity. So, it was a remarkably educative experience. And if you got him in a free period or a relaxed mood, the old busy man, he is a remarkable raconteur. Anecdotal, stories, kissas, precedents. I remember twice sitting next to him on a flight to Kolkata purely by chance. And I just wanted the flight never to end because he was a man who was at ease. He was going back home and he didn't have much work to do for the next day. And then he would just go on and on about stories and precedents. So you learned so much.
True. Thanks very much, Dr. Singhvi. I guess you shared a lot from your experience of him and also perhaps giving us a sneak peek into what we are actually going to miss from here on. Thank you so much, Dr. Singhvi. Let's quickly go to Sudhindra Kulkarni as well as Veer Sanghvi. Mr. Sanghvi, to you first. Would you concur? Would you agree with what Dr. Singhvi is saying, Om Birla is saying? And I ask you the same question again. See, because everyone's going to talk about his legacy. But let's look forward. Do we in India at this moment, at a time when we are so deeply divided politically, need another Pranab or need to, get this Pranab Mukherjee out in more people?
Yeah, Sanket, there are always two kinds of politicians. One is the vast majority of politicians, people who go out and fight elections, who are motivated by ideology, who raise emotive issues, and that describes what 90% of politicians. But there is another 10% of politicians, and that's professional politicians, people who approach politics rather as a lawyer approaches the law or a doctor approaches medicine. Pranab Mukherjee was in that category. He had no real interest in making emotive speeches. He was not a mass politician. The only time he ever won elections was when the left supported him. And he was quite open that that was not his area. Nor was he particularly ideologically driven. Let's not forget, he was a minister in the emergency government when Mr. Modi was on the run. And he was president of India when Mr. Modi was prime minister. And Mr. Modi appears to have been genuinely fond of him. So he straddled both those words quite efficiently. He was a man who loved governance. He loved the institutions of government. He was a master of parliamentary law. He understood how the economy was run. He understood how ministries function. That's the reason he was on so many interministerial groups during UPA too. He loved administration. And to get things done, he was willing to, as you've correctly said, be a consensus man. He would reach across the aisle. He would work with anybody. And because he was not ideologically driven, I mean, he went to the RSS headquarters and called Hegde War a great son of India, correct, something no other congressman would do. Because he had that ability to connect with people on a pragmatic level, he became a consensus man. And I think a lot of the tributes, we've missed that, the professional element to him. He was ultimately a professional politician. Politics for him was like medicine to a doctor.
Now, Mr. Kulkarni, do you think that is the unfortunate reality that the moment you become a consensus builder, then you don't remain a popular leader? Because obviously to be a popular mass leader, you will have to take certain decisions that will be divorced from, you know, these virtues that we know Pranab Mukherjee of, being a master manager, being a super consensus builder, being a sort of a political social glue. You look at his track record as a mass leader and the skill set that he has. Is this the reason?
Sanket, you rightly said that there is so much to remember about his legacy. But what is it that is enduring about that legacy? I would count 3 points. One, that even though he was a consensus builder, he was a person of very strong, deep convictions. Take, for example, his visit to the RSS headquarters, which no other Congress leader would do. And when he accepted the invitation, a lot of congressmen actually questioned him. But what did he do when he went to Nagpur? I think that his speech in front of RSS Swayamsevaks is one of the best expositions on the idea of India and the concept of secularism. Uncompromising. He said, you know, he quoted Gandhiji, he quoted Nehru, who is a villain for the Sangh Parivar, unfortunately. But he said one thing, and these are words which need to be remembered today. He said, any attempt at defining our nationhood in terms of dogmas and identities of religion, region, hatred and intolerance will only lead to dilution of our national identity. There was so much in his speech that actually refuted the whole concept of Hindu Rashtra, and he was doing this in front of an RSS audience. At the same time, by going to the RSS headquarters, he was also sending a message that as a nation, we need to have this dialogue even among people who belong to and who profess different and even divergent ideologies. Because as a nation, we must stand united. So that was the elder statesman in Pranab Mukherjee. I know for a fact that he had deep respect for Advaniji, and that respect was reciprocal. Advaniji belonged to the BJP. Now, he did not cease to be a congressman in admiring Advaniji, and Advaniji did not become a congressman by admiring Pranab Mukherjee. But that is the kind of relationship that India needs to have today at a time when our politics is so polarized and so confrontational. Let me give one more point, which is of enduring importance. And that is something that Prime Minister Modi should understand and learn from Pranab Mukherjee. His broad-mindedness and his willing to learn from mistakes. You know, in his memoirs, he recounts a very interesting incident of his visit to London accompanying Indira Gandhi after she was defeated in the 1977 election after the emergency. And the reporters in London asked her, what do you have to say about your emergency experiment? And immediately Indira Gandhi said that we managed to comprehensively alienate every section of Indian society during the emergency. So admitting the mistake, and that one sentence of hers completely silenced all the reporters. So he says that a great quality of a true leader is to admit mistakes and to be broad-minded. So this is what India needs, and this is what as was said earlier, that Prime Minister Modi appears to have had
I think the point that you are making, Mr. Kulkarni, this basically means that instead of idolizing him and idolizing his values, it's very important to implement them in real life, in real politics, which is something that has not happened.
Exactly.
And that's the important point. I've run out of time, Mr. Kulkarni. I've completely run out of time, and I tell you why I'm doing this, because we want to play out the journey of Pranab Mukherjee. We have this presentation on the life and times of Pranab Mukherjee, which we want to play out. But Veer Sanghvi as well as Sudhir Kulkarni, thank you so much for joining us with your comments.